Very busy agenda for the Barnstable Town Council this Thursday night at 7 o'clock as they meet in the Town Hall hearing room. And here to talk about what you can expect from Thursday night's meeting, Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch.
How are you today, Nick?
Doing very well. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Now, this is the annual public hearing, or a series of public hearings, I should say, for the fiscal year 2012 capital improvement budget. Just give us a little bit of an overview, and then we'll talk about some specific examples.
Okay. This has been a long process internally here in Town Hall where various departments have put forward those capital projects that they feel are the most important. There's been a vetting process where people have rated them all. Budget Director Bob O'Brien has worked very carefully with the town manager and other staff to put together a list that we hope reflects the amount of money we have to put out there, as well as those most pressing needs that are there to help improve the quality of life for citizens and around specific projects that capital improvements that need to be made.
Really is a huge variety of projects that are going to be up for council discussion on Thursday night. Let's start with maybe one of the more prominent capital items that we see every year now is the $3.25 million appropriation request for the public roads improvement.
The town manager and town council several years ago set forth that this was a major priority. We had the infrastructure of our roads was falling apart. They wanted to commit public dollars to the public roadways, and we've had a very aggressive program. This is equally aggressive, taking care of some roads in Centerville this year and in Marston's Mills and a variety of places. And it's all the way from a reconstruction of the road, which is very expensive, new drainage and paving, to what they call the grind and pave, where we just take down the existing surface, repave that, to crack sealing. So you're trying to preserve the life of a road for maybe another 5 or 10 years. So the DPW has been very aggressive in going out there and rating all the roads and trying to get into each of the villages with repairs. So this has been a town council initiative. I think I expect them to support it again this year.
Just want to take a look through and pick out a couple of additional examples, Tom, just to show folks the variety of projects that the council will be considering on Thursday. Let's take this one, for example, $665,000 appropriation request to fund permitting for dredging the East Bay entrance channel.
Yes, and that's actually a combination of both permitting and the actual dredging dollars will be there. But East Bay flows right into the Centerville River, and that's a huge flushing area. Sure. That's become very filled in. So the whole idea would be that it would also help with the whole flushing of the area as it relates to nitrogen and other issues, but also allow for the boaters to be able to get in and out at all tides. We have a couple of those where we're also looking on the north side where there's been some dredging areas, and we're looking to begin the permitting process, because anytime it takes a while to get all the permits in place, then the funding in place to do the actual dredging.
So we've talked about roads, we've talked a little bit about dredging, and the capital improvement budget also funds repairs to boat ramps, and repairs are being recommended for Prince Cove and the Hayward Road boat ramps this year.
When you look at those, you can see the deterioration that's there, and the longer it goes, the more costly it gets to do. So Hayward over in Centerville is one where you can see the concrete deterioration. We hope to get in there and repair that, as well as some of the Prince Cove areas in terms of float replacement and other things like that. So.
Let's talk about some of the enterprise fund capital requests. We actually spoke with Airport Manager Bud Briel just recently on Barnstable this morning, asking him about all of his capital requests. A little bit over $2 million just coming from the airport alone. So what's different about enterprise funds and how they can make requests versus the general fund requests?
Well, the enterprise accounts exist separately and on their own. So they generate their own revenue through various jet fuel sales or whatever, and they build up surpluses. And then the idea is that they can use that money that's basically funded through the users of the airport, and to then put back into their capital repairs. So it's not coming out of the general tax revenues that you and I would pay and everyone out there would pay into the general coffers. The airport has been aggressive every year with its capital plan, and they've got the whole project where they're redoing the airport tower and of course the whole new terminal, and with that they're trying to also keep up with general repairs to the runways and purchasing things like sweeper equipment and all those sorts of things. So they bring all those things again to us. We look at them and then try to assist them with what their budget can carry for this fiscal year. So so the enterprise accounts are very important as to how they fund their general repairs.
Tom, how do repairs to school buildings work within the capital budget?
There's a portion of money that we also set aside from the general fund for the school repairs, and they'll come to us, the school department will come to us and ask for certain repairs. And I should mention that throughout this whole process, the Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee is also weighing in to say what they think is important. The schools have been very good under Dr. Grenier of actually coming up with a capital plan. And I think in the past, one criticism may have been that they just dealt with emergencies as they popped up. And now what they've done is they've come up with a long-range plan, and they've been gradually picking them off. So if you look at some of the various schools, last year there were repairs to parking lots at High West and some of the other schools. You'll see that they're moving through to try to take a couple of extra lots this year that were in really bad shape. The same with window repair and asbestos removal at one of the schools, and also a conversion to a different fuel system to save money. So he did that last year at the Barnstable Community Horace Mann Charter Public School.
Nice work.
Over there and on Versus Way. And now they want to move to one of the other schools to do the same sort of repairs. So they've got a thoughtful approach, and while we also rate them, those are kind of school priorities, and we defer somewhat to the schools on that. So, but again, it's a limited amount of money. You can only do so much each year, and they also want to do some carpeting in the preschool that we have over at the high school and things like that. So, very needed repairs. And for anyone who gets a chance to look through this capital plan, they'll see photos of showing just where the deterioration should come, and it's not a lack of general maintenance. It's just that this, age and the weather and wear and tear takes its toll.
Sure.
And becomes incumbent to keep everything up.
Now, Tom, I think another important point that we should make here is that every single one of these individual capital budget items are up for a public hearing. So members of the public can come and speak to any project that's important to them.
So if you care about, the Long Pond and the hydrilla issue, and you want to come and speak at that, there'll be a separate time for a public hearing on that, and before the councils vote on it. And so it'll be a fairly long evening, because I think we've got about 23 items to go through before we get to. We'll look at new business, but a lot of that will be pushed off into the May 5th meeting.
Sure.
So.
Now, if a project is important to you, how do you find that out? Well, you take a look at the town council agenda. You can see every single individual item that they'll be considering on Thursday night. And the best place to find that is online at the brand new Town of Barnstable website, which is still town.barnstable.ma.us. Can people get their hands on this thing too?
Well, I think these are round and about at libraries and places like that, but I think that also much of the backup information here will also be on the website.
Very good. So that's all at town.barnstable.ma.us, and everything is a lot easier to access now with the new website. And actually, we'll be talking about that in a program in the not-too-distant future here on Barnstable Today. But for the time being, Tom, we thank you for your time.
All right.
And certainly hope that you check out the town council meeting this Thursday evening, I should say. It's 7 o'clock in the town hall hearing room as the town council takes up the FY 2012 capital budget. Now, let's take a look at this week's remaining meetings.